Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Time to take that walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I'm sure this is probably going to be a tasty treat. This is DuClaw's Devil's Due. And what this is, guys, it says it's a stout on the bottle. It says here it's a bourbon barrel stout. And what they've done is it's a retribution blended with the devil's milk. And Beer Advocate is classifying this as an American strong ale. And the commercial description says, the perfect balance of Retribution Imperial Stout and Devil's Milk Barley Wine, Devil's Due is black, full body, and smoothly drinkable. Its seductive swirl of dark chocolate, coffee, smoky malt, and citrus fruit flavors infused with the notes of charred oak, vanilla, and caramelized sugar disguises a strong, warming alcohol presence, 11%, ABV, that reminds those who dance with the devil that eventually a price will be paid. IBUs on this beer, it says here, is 75, and I can see why their Beer Advocate classified it as an American strong ale, and it says it's only brewed once, a one-time beer. And Rate Beer is classified as an Imperial Stout. Well, they combined both of those to make this beer. So you can classify it as a American Strong Ale, or you can classify it as an Imperial Stout. They're calling it a stout on the bottle, so that's the inclination I'm going to go with. And being aged in bourbon barrels, that's just going to make it that much better, because I love a stout that's aged in bourbon barrels. But they blended it with a barley wine, so sounds tasty to me, guys. Over to the food pairings for this one. And it's going to have, they've got your American Strong Ale food pairings with this. Cheeses are your nutty Asiago Colby Parmesan. And it says general digestive. But being a stout, it's going to go with your chocolate dishes. The meat's going to be game, grilled meat, salmon, and a lot of your stronger meat dishes to go with this one, guys. And since it is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, it's going to go well with your chocolate dishes, more than likely. Glassware, pint, becker, nonic, tumbler, snifter, mug, stein, and sidel. I've got the double glass I'm going to use for this one today, guys. And it says can be cellar for long periods. 11%er, I would not argue with that whatsoever. And I do not see a date on the label here, but I do think that they're dating their stuff. So there's probably something on the bottle somewhere, and we will take a closer look at that. It's not that critical, but I would like to, it's a brewed once beer, so I would like to see the year on it somewhere, guys. Nice little hiss, a little bit of smoke rolling out of it. Into the glass we go. Let's go down the center on this one. 11%. Don't think it's going to produce a massive head. And it does not. About a half a finger of head on that pour. Very good looking beer. And not quite even a finger of head. Over into the light. I'm not giving any. It's pretty dark, guys. Pretty dark. Pretty black. Let's get a nose on this and see what we can pick up. Well, we're definitely picking up the bourbon. It's there. Definitely bourbon barrel influence on this beer, big time. A little bit of roasted malt. Some hints of chocolate in there. But the bourbon is overpowering everything, especially right out of the fridge. Now, as it warms up, we may get some more different flavors, chocolate, maybe some darker fruit. So definitely a nice sweet bourbon smell on the nose. And I like pretty much everything that DuClaw does. I mean, they do some really tasty beers. They really, really do. And a lot of them guys at the brewery follow my reviews. So cheers to you guys out there at DuClaw. You do some tasty stuff. Let's put the year on the label on these guys. What do you think? Well, let's give it a taste. See what we got. Definitely getting the bourbon, so let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Big bourbon. 11%. I'm surprised it's not more boozier than what it is. Not getting any burn down the throat. Very sweet. A lot of bourbon. A little vanilla. A little woodiness there from the barrel. Wow. That's tasty. That is tasty. 11%er. That'll grab you by the throat and throw you down if you're not careful. Beers of this magnitude, I tell you this all the time, guys. These are sippers, they're not chuggers, and beers that you probably should drink at home. If you're drinking this out in a bar at 11%, it's not going to take very much of this to make you inebriated. Even though you may not feel it, you go through a road check. They got these little flashlights now that detect alcohol. They just shine it in there. Hey, you had anything to drink? And the flashlight's got a little light on the side of it that picks up the alcohol when you're talking to them. So, I mean, you really don't, they don't even have to get in your face and they can detect that you've been drinking. You had many beers today? How many have you had? Yeah, and if you tell them you've had any beer, or you say, yeah, I had one, you're going to be, well, pull on over to the side, and they're going to make you get out and walk the line and touch your nose and do all that crazy shit. It ain't worth it. DUIs in Virginia cost you around 10 grand now. Then you lose your license, except you might get lucky enough to drive back and forth to work, and that's it. It's just not worth the risk anymore, guys. That's why I do most of my drinking here at the house. Getting a DUI nowadays is a life-changing experience. I've been fairly lucky, knock on wood, that I've never had one, but I have tons of friends that have, and it is a life-changing event once that happens. So, awesome lacing is leaving on the glass. So let's right out of the fridge. I've only been in the fridge about an hour though. I didn't chill it down to 40. It's probably down about, I don't know, 50 or 55 degrees. But I'm going to take it back and let her have a sip or two or three, and come back and see where this one ends up. But it looks pretty damn impressive right now. It definitely looks like an A beer. Let's see where it ends up. Stick around. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Maybe just a little bit more than a little bit. That is delicious, guys. I'm a sucker for a bourbon barrel aged stout. I love that influence that the bourbon barrels put on these type of beers. I don't drink bourbon anymore, so the only bourbon I get is from the bourbon barrel aging of these beers. So, very tasty. Very, very tasty. Rich caramel, dark roasted malt, caramelized sugar, maybe a little bit of molasses, hint of coffee, some dark fruit in there, and maybe some dates, raisins, figs, or plums. The oak is there from the wooden barrels. Some vanilla. Wow. Delicious. Very, very tasty, guys. And I said I was going to look at the bottle, and I do think they date their stuff, but sometimes it is so hard to see on these bottles. And I don't see anything on this bottle whatsoever. No dating that I can see. Oh yeah, it's there. And it is so light. Bottled 12/8 of 2014. So this is put in the bottle on December the 8th of 2014. I mean, This beer is around 4 months old. It's around 4 months old. Put in the bottle 4 months ago. 11%er. Definitely going to keep a lot longer than that. You could sell this beer 5-10 years probably. And now that the condensation has gone off the bottle, it's written in yellow, but I could not see it with the condensation on the bottle. And it's written in yellow here, but it's very light yellow. But it's there. It is there. And it's got the alcohol content on it. Don't have the IBUs. Of course, I told you what it was. It's 75, which is fairly large for a stout. Usually they're in between the 40 and 60 range on the stouts. So they've kicked it up a notch on the bitterness to match the sweetness of the malt on this beer. But very tasty. Let's do the final chug. Oh, it's got a wonderful smell. Ah, I love that bourbon smell. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Definitely an A beer, guys. Very tasty. You got everything you want in a bourbon barrel aged beer, especially blending a barley wine with a stout to give it a little bit of influences of both. I'm getting a little bit of pininess in there too. Wow. Delicious, guys. Definitely an A beer as far as I'm concerned. Date on the bottle, ABV on the bottle. Really don't need the IBUs listed. Would like to see it, but it's not that critical. So it's got all the information you need on this bottle. 9 out of 10 for me on this one, guys. It's very, very tasty. I brewed once beer when they blended these beers together to produce this beer. And I've had this one for a little while. I've probably had it 2 months. So very nice. Very, very nice. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says it's 90 in their outstanding range. It is an outstanding beer. Very, very tasty. And Rate Beer has 94 overall, but 45 in the style. I think it's an awesome beer. Yeah, I think it's very, very tasty. For a blended beer, you're getting everything from the milk stout. I'm not getting a whole lot of sweetness, but being a milk stout, that tells me they've used some lactose in it to give it that sweetness. And on the barley wine side of it, it's got some fruitiness and the caramel and the toppiness to go in there with it. Pleasant, very, very pleasant. Like I said, I love when they do these bourbon barrel aged versions of this beer. They could probably just do a bourbon barrel aged version of the milk stout and it would have been just as tasty, but they blended the barley wine into it just to add just a little bit more characteristics and make it a little more complex. And it is. It is. It's very tasty. If I was putting a numeric rating on this one, guys, it would probably be 96 or a 97. So 9 out of 10 for me on this one. If you've had the Devil's Due from DuClaw, let me know what you think of it, guys. And let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See everybody then.